Happy Tuesday, happy live day, happy answering your female health questions day. This month we are returning to the same topic we started the first 3 months of the year with, and that is female fitness myths. And the reason for that is I've had some comments, questions, etc. this month that have literally had me lying awake in bed at night. And I'm going to address them in order of how mad they made me. So we're starting today with the myth that losing your period, even for 1 month, is normal, is fine, and is harmless, okay? Because it absolutely, unequivocally is not. Now, as always, I'm going to reference the shit out of everything I say, okay? I'm not making it up. And if you want those references early, message me or comment on these posts and I will send them to you. But otherwise, they'll be in my blog at the end of the month. But without using science and just using logic in our brains, think about what would happen to humanity if women were under enough stress or de-stress or, had so little food that their periods stopped. It's not good for anyone, whether or not you want to have a baby or not. Having a menstrual cycle is a vital sign of health. Okay, now this is where the first comment came, and I'm going to read you the comment. Okay, and I'm going to address just the first part of it, and we'll address the second half next week. So, in the context of talking about the menstrual cycle being a vital sign of health, a female trainer said, "This has happened to me, hasn't caused any harm to me at all. I've been a bodybuilder for over 8 years. Happened to my trainer also. I had 2 children, same for them. It's actually a known fact. If it was harmful, medical practitioners wouldn't allow it." Well, I put to you that medical practitioners do know it happens and they do allow it. So we're just going to deal with the first myth today, which is that losing your menstrual cycle is fine. It is absolutely not. And I'll get to the second part of that comment next week. Okay, you might have to do your due diligence with medical practitioners to find one that's educated in female menstrual health. Okay, so let me give you 3 reasons why losing your period is not normal, is not fine, and is absolutely, measurably harmful, okay? One of the reasons I didn't like my clients being on hormonal contraceptives, especially my athletes, was because I couldn't tell when they were overtraining or under-eating as easily because I couldn't track their cycles and their symptoms, okay? Our cycle is a massive hormonal health indicator. Exercise and food have an impact on your hormones, okay? If you have lost your period, even 1 period, it means you are probably in a low estrogen state. There are other reasons like being pregnant or breastfeeding. Okay. In fact, breastfeeding women lose 6% of their bone mineral density in the first 6 months of breastfeeding. So there's that too. It's still not good for the mum. But like tracking her cycle, knowing her patterns is an early red flag for when you're over or under doing things. Okay. So 3 big reasons. There's probably hundreds, but 3 big reasons that losing your period is not good for you have to do with bone health, heart health, performance, altered performance, and the fact that these injuries, illnesses, and risks are forever. Okay? Forever. So, losing 1 period, just 1, will have an impact on your bone health. Okay, so as I said, breastfeeding women lose 6% of their bone mineral density in the first 6 months of training. Every missed period is another opportunity to lose bone mineral density. Now, even in men, estrogen is a major hormonal player in bone metabolism. Okay, even in men. For women, bone mineral density is even more important because we're at higher risk of developing osteoporosis later on. Okay, now in athletes who are in relative energy deficit or red, um, their bones become more brittle from the first period that they skip or miss. Okay, so it's better to have irregular periods than none at all. It's better to have a regular period than irregular period. Okay, um, so this risk of bone demineralization doesn't go away. So what they lose in that period of relative energy deficit is lost and gone. And athletes who are in red, relative energy deficit, are not only higher risk of developing early onset osteoporosis, the onset of that disease will be faster, and their symptoms and their experience of that disease will be more severe. That is like 30, 40 years down the track from when you're training this client. But it's a major, major health risk, and it will massively impact her quality of life forever. So don't do it. Make sure that they are menstruating regularly, and if you don't understand, refer them to someone who does. Now, the second big risk that you're taking if you allow your clients to be in red for anywhere from one period to like years without periods is their heart health. So losing your period puts you at greater risk of developing heart disease, even in the young and athletic female population. So in one blog from a sports cardiologist, she was talking about how female athletes are sent to her when there's a perceived decline in their athletic performance. And what she finds is altered electrical signals to their heart causing a minor heart blockage, so the mildest form of heart disease or heart attack there is. Or autonomic dysfunction, so where the autonomic nervous system is damaged. The autonomic nervous system is the one responsible for us breathing. It's the one responsible for your heart beating. It's kind of important. You don't want those nerves to be damaged. And here's the thing, once they're damaged, the damage is permanent. Okay? Women who lose their period are predisposed to early onset cardiovascular disease. Okay? Even if they're athletes. So do not do it to the female clients that you are training, okay? And the third big reason why losing your period is harmful is that it affects your performance, okay? If you're in red, relative energy deficit for long enough, it can deplete your glycogen stores, interfere with protein synthesis, and increase your risk of injury and illness because it alters your neuromuscular function, okay, your proprioception. This makes you higher risk of falls and higher risk of fractures. That is not good for weightlifting. It is not good for body balance classes. It is not good for running a marathon, okay? So we know that it has an immediate negative effect on aerobic performance. I must say there hasn't been, or I couldn't find a study on red and strength training performance. But we do know in the long term, so if she loses her period for a prolonged period of time, so 3 months or more, she has a premature reduction in her physical, her psychological, and her mental capacity. Okay? We're talking things like early onset dementia. We're talking like greater risk of falls earlier in life. These are harmful, life-altering conditions that she will be predisposed to or at higher risk of building from that first lost period. Okay? So no, losing your period is not fine, it's not normal, and it is harmful. Okay? And if it's happening to you or your clients, or if you're training very athletic women and they're on the contraceptive pill, you need to get that shit sorted. And like when I say get it sorted, I'm like, get it sorted now, today. call them up, get it done. Okay, it's super important. Any questions, comments? You know what to do. Stick it in the comments of this video or direct message me and I'll answer them next Tuesday.